go. It is that time. Good morning to you. Oh, my cup is empty. I was going to have some tea this morning, but my daughter is not up and we was going to share some tea together. So maybe we'll do that when she gets up. Good morning, everyone. Got my favorite water. Got my favorite people. Oh, it's so good to see you this morning. Exciting news. Yeah, I'm feeling good, This right here is episode 384. 384 or 385. It's 384, I think. 384, one goal was to get to 365. So this is 384. So thank you to all encouraging me, keep me going. And the other one, the second one for this year was to get 10,000 downloads. And right now I'm at 9,987 or 88. So, and I average about 5 to 25, anywhere between that every day. So 5 to 25 daily. So today, maybe it'll be one of those bigger numbers. If you're not part of this podcast, subscribe. And it's on Podbean, iHeartRadio, all kinds of things. And it can be found. But today I'm feeling good. It's going to be today. And with your prayers and everything, I'm pretty sure we're going to hit 10,000 today. 10,000 downloads. Which is awesome. So there, out of the 7 Mudas, we talked about wasted time, wasted transportation, wasteful waiting, wasteful producing, wasteful processing, overproduction and excess processing. And today I wanted to go ahead and just cover the inventory, which will fall in line. But first off, as usual, I'll go ahead and give the business aspect of it. In business, this is where what you have produced sits on the shelf. It's just sitting. Nobody's buying it. And we're continually make a product that no one's buying. And it's just sitting there. Now, of course, somebody might come and get it. But you still have to to keep producing it and no one's buying it. You gotta count the cost, because what happens is you still have to pay for storage. You have to watch it. You have to watch that inventory. You have to wait. You have to protect it. Make sure it's not being damaged by just sitting on the shelf. Taking up space. So it's still costing you just to have it. So take that into consideration. Count the cost. You might have to scale back, but you don't want to have a wasteful inventory, because especially if it has a shelf life. If it has a shelf life and it expires, then it's totally wasted. You spent all that to produce it and it goes to waste. That's wasteful. So don't lose your inventory. But I wanted to get it, this whole thing is not about business. There's plenty of books about that, but we're applying Kaizen to our personal lives. Good morning. Cuz. So, in our personal life, from a material standpoint, all right, wasteful inventory is this: when we accumulate things we don't need. And it's to the point that not that we don't That you can't have things that you don't need. If you want it, go get it. But we accumulate things that we want for just that one little period of time and never come back to it. It sits on the shelf and it destroys itself, or time gets to it and it just sits there. That's material. Like, don't be wasteful in that, because, you could be putting those resources to something else that could help you for the rest of your life. But what I wanted to focus on was and staying in line with overproducing of thoughts and the over processing of information that's coming in as helping us produce those thoughts. Inventory. This is I was excited about. God has given us this unique ability to create almost anything that we want, anything that we can think of. If we can think it, then it can be created. If we've seen it and we want it for ourselves, we can pretty much create it. It's hard to have the excuse, well, I don't know how, because you can look it up. We got Google and we got YouTube and all these other things that people want to give out their information, want to help you get to what you want. And never has there really been a time like this, except for now. You did have the library. Library system's been in for a long while, but now you have this thing like in your hand. You have your phone or a tablet, and it's all there. Whatever you want to know. If I want to know how to make a brownie, boom, I can look up the recipe. And not only one recipe, but different variations. If I want cookie on top and all that other stuff, it's right there. If I have this idea in my head that I want to sell, the weirdest thing, I want to sell bonsai trees or something like that. There's somebody out there that tells you how to do it. So the excuse of, well, I don't know how, it kind of goes out the window. So many of us, we have this idea pop into our head. And the reason we get the idea is because it's meant for the world it's meant to be introduced to the world to solve a problem or something, to somebody's problem. That idea is going to solve it. And the world is waiting for it to be acted upon, right? So what happens is that these ideas, this is where it becomes wasteful inventory. We have all these ideas, and I got this stack of notebook I got stacks of ideas just sitting in the notebook, sitting on the shelf. Man, this was a good idea. Wrote it down, put it on the shelf. Had another good idea, wrote it down, put it on the shelf. Man, I can do this. And wrote it down, put it on the shelf, because my coaches always say what write everything down. You write this stuff down and you put it on the shelf. It starts to become wasteful inventory when it's not being used. It's not being introduced. It's not being acted upon. So if you have an idea and you act upon it, that's equivalent to you actually selling it. Now you putting it to use instead of putting it on the shelf. What I think about this, God gives a bunch of people a whole bunch of ideas. And we have a lot of us have the same idea. And it's those who act upon it who get it out. I don't know if you ever seen something on TV. You're like, man, I thought of that first, man. But you never acted upon it. Or it's a variation of the thing that you might have acted upon, but it's doing well. And what's happening is that the world needs it. And the way I see it, it's like the law of averages. Okay, you get it, 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 you get it. And then one out of these 50 million people who got the same idea, somebody's going to act on it. What we tend to do is not. Man, that's a good idea. This can change the world, and we sit on it because we don't know how, or we don't know what to do with it. And remember, like I said, you got this whole this storehouse of information called the internet on how to do things. So don't let that somebody that's sitting on there having a wasteful inventory be you. What idea has God given you? What is it that speaks to your whole ikigai? Because this is what this is all about: your purpose and your mission and the skills that you have and your passion. What ideas do you have that speaks to each one of those, or all encompasses that whole thing? That's all you. So don't let it become wasteful inventory. And as always, I love being in the presence of greatness, and you truly are great. So let's get to it. I got a lot of thinking to do. I'm gonna sit down in my thinking chair and kind of like hash out all of these ideas that I haven't been using that the world needs, that'll utilize my passion, purpose, but you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Kampai.